What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the quartering, and it's a rough month for Blizzard. By the way, lost in the sauce of all of this is, giving a huge shout out to the overwhelming majority of Blizzard employees and management that aren't garbage. I really can't stress that enough. I hate to, throw the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak. And I think that happens, when everyone's busy dunking on Blizzard. And believe me, there's been a lot of bad things happening there. But, underlying after all the, kind of like, haha, take that corporate company that I don't like. You're talking about thousands of people's livelihoods here who had nothing to do with this. And I think that is, the hidden tragedy in all of this. You have a second lawsuit from investors mad that they lost money because, Blizzard hid some bad behavior. You've got sponsors pulling out. This is all going to directly affect the mid-level to low-level employees. You're not going to see executives take a big hit. That's just not how business works. And we can agree or disagree that that's fair or not. But, it just doesn't work any other way. And so, my heart does go out to a lot of these Blizzard employees that have absolutely nothing to do with it. By the way, if you're watching this video, I'm live right now on Twitch playing Final Fantasy 14, among other games, at Twitch TV/The Quartering. After you watch this video, I'd really love for you to stop by and say hello. I'm having a lot of fun relaxing there, and it's because of all of you. Now, first and foremost, we saw earlier in the week Coca-Cola, State Farm pull out of Blizzard's Overwatch League. Coca-Cola and State Farm are reassessing their partnerships with Activision Blizzard's Overwatch League. This is a huge hit. According to statements for both companies, the news comes 2 weeks after the state of California's decision to have their lawsuit. Activision runs Overwatch League and Call of Duty League, two esports ventures which organize competitions around their respective first-person shooter titles. Coca-Cola and State Farm are 2 of 7 sponsors currently listed on Overwatch's website. And by the way, they're 2 of the biggest. They're just monstrous. Wait, they don't even have... Okay, that didn't link anywhere. Thanks for nothing. Brand deals with big companies bleeding into all parts of League's match play production. There are sponsored player rankings by IBM, well-placed red Coca-Cola cups next to commentators, quick rolling advertisements that run between action and match. Partnerships are a key to the weight of the league, and Activision Blizzard to bring in revenue alongside broadcasting rights and franchise fees. This is no different than Papa John's and the NFL and everyone else. This stuff makes these things go. In 2 statements provided to the Post Thursday, a spokesperson for State Farm said the insurance provider is, quote, reevaluating our limited marketing relationship with the Overwatch League. It's like kicking dirt on it. Like, we're reevaluating, and even when we were doing it, we weren't doing that much with it. That's like a pretty damning statement. And then, and the company has requested that, quote, no advertisements run in matches this weekend. State Farm became the first sponsor of Overwatch League back in 2019. They're never going to come back. Never. A spokesperson for Coca-Cola Wednesday said that the company is, quote, aware of the claims surrounding Activision Blizzard and that they've closely monitored their situation. They're working with our partners at Blizzard as we take a step back for a moment to revisit future plans and programs. Never going to happen. Never going to come back. That's just not the way the world works. If we look at, the apocalypse, most of those companies that pulled, just never came back. A lot of people don't know this, but I run a marketing agency as my day job, and I was around for the other side of the apocalypse, and I had Fortune 500 companies that still work with me now that pulled all their ads off YouTube and have not restarted because they didn't want to be featured in another New York Times article like they were. And then you see article after article. Here's another article published today. Blizzard turned game developers into rock stars. Misbehavior followed. Managers set the tone by hiring mostly men, stoking their egos, and dating women in the company, current and former employees say. Now this from currently disgraced games journalist Jason Schreier, who was correctly dragged across social media for admitting to having the stories of a lot of these women, but sitting on them for years in order to wait for the appropriate time to profit from their pain. This Blizzard's HR boss is the latest executive to go. Jesse Meschuk left the company, a spokesperson told Bloomberg. Then on top of that, shareholders sue Activision Blizzard for withholding harassment information. Again, you also had the woman, the Activision employee, who came out to say the lawsuit was meritless and was dragged across the internet for it, has now deactivated their social media. But on top of all of this, okay, the most important game for Blizzard, World of Warcraft. And God bless the gaming community. There are some that will quit games on principle, but the overwhelming majority either won't or aren't aware of it. I think it's easy to forget for us perpetually online people that there are huge numbers of people that never watch a YouTube video about a video game. They never read a Kotaku article or a Polygon article about a video game. They're unaware of the drama. There were probably millions of people that showed up to pick up Cyberpunk 2077 on the original release date because they didn't know that it had been delayed, okay? There is a huge... The overwhelming majority of the gaming community is not ruining it by being into all this stuff like we are. But all of this could be mitigated if World of Warcraft wasn't in such a bad state. You see, Asmongold blasts the current state of WoW. It's sprinkled in dog poo. In an exclusive interview with Deserto, the streamer also suggested that Activision Blizzard's MMO could learn a lot from Square Enix's iconic title, Final Fantasy XIV. Dissatisfaction has been growing within the WoW community ever since the release of Chains of Domination. The highly anticipated expansion for the game's iconic Shadowlands expansion, played by lag and suffering with severely uninspired narrative decision, Asmongold has explained what WoW needs to do to stop the mass exodus. They just need to come into WoW with new ideas, he told Deserto. I think that's what a lot of people have been looking at other games and looking at different things. I think people really want to see Blizzard try to flip the board over and try to do something new and different. Right now, I feel like there's no real innovation going on in the game. The developers just don't know what the players want. He explained they're doing things that are just time-wasting mechanisms. Now, in the developers' defense here, I think what the community wants is a moving target at times. Sure, they will tell you emphatically what they want, but that changes from day to day, and sometimes the thing that you wanted in April can't be developed until October, and then by the time it's delivered in October, nobody wants it anymore. So this is a constant battle. Regarding Shadowlands Fall from Grace, he notes, I know a lot of people hate Shadowlands. It's really popular to think Shadowlands is awful. I think the problem Shadowlands has is the lack of content and the lack of innovation. Well, yeah, because they took the lazy Marvel storyline. The lore in the game is sprinkles on a cupcake. It's like sprinkles on a cupcake. You don't need a cupcake for the sprinkles, but they certainly make it a heck of a lot nicer. Right now, WoW has sprinkles of dog poo on it. I'm just tired of the story writing and everything that, like, I think in terms of Shadowlands is definitely at the bottom, which is disappointing because at the beginning, I think it was at the top. As hordes of streamers continue to flock for green pastures of Square Enix's Eorzea, behemoths such as Jared Summit 1G have praised the game's community for being so welcoming. Asmon is among these, even going so far as to call WoW's community trash in comparison. I don't know about that. I mean, I've always had good experiences with the WoW community, especially in Classic, but I don't put the hours in that Asmon does. So certainly, I will say that the Final Fantasy XIV community has been really welcoming. But I'm also only playing it while I stream, so most of the people I interact with are probably viewers. There's so many different problems with the WoW community, it's very hard to just nail down one or two of them. I think that one good thing for Final Fantasy XIV is they have the little sprout icon next to people's names. I think a lot of times people would be rude to somebody if they didn't know that they were new. That's actually a good point. But if they did know, they'd be more understanding. Another thing is the amount of punishment for loss that you have inside of a raid. In Final Fantasy, if you wipe on a boss, usually you respawn right in front of the boss. And you pretty much have everything, so you're ready to pull the boss again. In WoW, you need to run back, waste your time, and whenever you're having your time wasted like that, somebody you create a much more toxic relationship. 100% agree. The way, well, look, raids are more casual friendly in Final Fantasy XIV, but I'm a casual, so I agree with that take. But there are hardcore people that like the punishment because it makes defeating the boss after rerunning the dungeon that much more sweet. I played WoW like a couple days ago. I don't want to quit the game. I don't have any plans to quit the game. Does it mean I'll never quit the game? I don't want to never quit the game. I love WoW. That's why I played it for so long. I do absolutely plan on coming back to World of Warcraft. I do play the game regularly off stream. It's just right now I'm taking a bit of a break because I don't feel like playing it right now, and I'd rather something else that I'm more interested in. Well, I mean, when you have literally every major World of Warcraft personality making a I'm quitting WoW video and moving to Final Fantasy XIV, you're probably talking about millions of players in total, between their viewerships and word of mouth and things like that. It'll be interesting to see what happens in Q3, how many people from World of Warcraft actually canceled their sub versus just playing a different game, because I think that number is probably higher than we think. Most people probably are still paying for WoW and haven't quit. So it'll be interesting to see how this shakes out in a absolutely brutal 2-week run for Activision Blizzard and World of Warcraft in particular. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.